we have a new Pope, Pope Provost. Um, there are so many things that is I don't know where to start. First, we have MAGA on one side, and then we have Black people on the other side. Now, I don't know if the Black people are just happy at anything that ticks MAGA off, or if they really buy into this one drop rule. um, it's funny how we will just project blackness onto somebody without their saying that is their identification or that's their identity. Um, they're saying that the new Pope Provost, full disclosure, I was Catholic for about 45 years, baptized in the Catholic Church, went through all of the classes and things that I don't remember the name of it. It'll come to me. Went to a casino, did the whole thing that Catholics do. Um, uh, Raised my kids in the Catholic Church, and I no longer am a Christian, and I don't think either of my kids are. In fact, no one in my family identifies as Christians, but I see the value of religion and anything that helps people become or function at their zenith, I support. Okay. That's not what I need. But if it helps you function best, use it. But let me kind of deal with this Black thing. They're saying that the Blackness that they are projecting onto Pope Provost, who is Pope Leo, I believe. Um, New Pope's name. Let me make sure that I don't I don't mess it up. He is Pope Leo the 14th. So Pope Leo. This blackness that is being projected onto him is from a relative on, I believe, his maternal side, a grandmother, great whatever, in from 1868, and his paternal side 1864. Now, as a Pan Africanist, you have to be genetically African, but also psychologically African. And I don't know that he's ever said that he identifies as an African American or a Black person or an African person. I don't know that, or a Haitian person. I don't know that because apparently his Blackness, so to speak, is a derivative from the 19th century from Haitian people. If I've never heard anybody talking about whether he was Black. In fact, I never heard anybody talk about a cardinal in Chicago. I never heard anybody talk about it. Now, suddenly, Black folks are saying, like, we won the Catholic lottery because the Vatican has elected a person who has some Black people somewhere in their family line. When if everybody comes from Africa, everybody does at some point. So I don't see what point that is. Further, we do understand that it was the Catholic Church and Christianity more broadly that condoned, supported, defended, and maintained slavery in the Western Hemisphere, and in particular the United States. So, when did Catholicism in general become a friend to Black people? I just, oh, it's a sign of God that America's in such bad shape that the Vatican, now the Catholic Church is on our side. Where was the Catholic Church during slavery? Not only were they not helping Black people, they were on the other side. Where was the Catholic Church during convict leasing? Where was Catholic Church during Jim Crow? Where was the Catholic Church during uh, Plessy versus Ferguson, government mandated segregation? Where was the Catholic Church during integration? Where was the Catholic Church during the Civil Rights Movement? Where was the Catholic Church during the war on drugs? Where was the Catholic Church during the assassination of all of the uh, civil rights leaders? Where was the Catholic Church during the murders of the leaders of the Black Panther Party and the war on drugs? Nixon, the war on drugs. Reagan, mass incarceration. Now the Catholic Church is our friend. Come on now. Come on now. Are we that desperate? It's like we are amping up the more MAGA amps up. Like, oh, MAGA's picking hypersensitive, stupid stuff to develop on. We're going to do it. Come on. MAGA is doing us a favor, allowing America to turn back to where it was pre-segregation, where all of the mistakes that we have made in and since the civil rights movement that we can fix with all of the plans that have been given to us over time for us to empower our community and get some nationalistic thoughts in our politics, businesses, and education. This is our chance. They are moving away from us. Allow them to. And we can fix our community while it's fashionable for them not to be around us. But one thing that I hear a lot is that from MAGA people, conservative, or really whites in general, because liberal whites they have the same MAGA talk. They just use different verbiage, but it's still not America first. It's me first. It's not about America, it's not about Native Americans. It's not about poor people. It's not about uh, Mexicans. It's not about immigrants. It's not about, it's about me. And they are taking these terms, CRT, DEI, woke. They're taking these terms and turning them into battle cries of anybody who cares about an agenda other than me. That's pretty much what it is. If you're not talking about white Americans, we don't care. We don't want to hear about anything that's going to upset us in history and education. We want to even in their shifting their focus of irritation from Black people to Christianity, which is something they're supposed to love, they still got to drag the Black folks with it. Somebody whose name is not worth knowing or mentioning was saying that they didn't like the new Pope's take on George Floyd. And George Floyd was a career criminal and a drug addict. So in their mind, because they made some comment of him dying of a drug overdose. So they have the greater part of America population has created in their mind that George Floyd was so full of fentanyl. This is easier for them to believe. He was so full of fentanyl that him moving around town didn't kill him. It didn't kill him while he's in the store with a fake $20 bill trying to buy something that they caught him with. It didn't kill him while he was waiting on the police officer. He had the drug overdose, didn't get him at home, didn't get him at work, didn't get him on the street, didn't get him at his mom's house, didn't get him wherever he was, driving on the highway. It happened to get him why this guy was on his back, neck, shoulder, whatever, and he's telling him, I can't breathe. That's when the fentanyl kicked in. This is the mindset. These are the same people that was hitting black folks with billy clubs. These are the same black people that's standing next to those pictures with somebody lynched. This is that mindset. These are the same people. I've always said this as a historian. There has been no genetic mutation since 1960 and now. And that was the bulk of the country. Bulk of the country that either did it or let it happen. That's the bulk of the white population. White people are 63% of the population. That's just a numerical fact. Either you did it or you let it happen. There are very few frontliners. We have very few Charles Summers. We have very few Thaddeus Stevens. We have very few the guy who led the raid on John Brown's. We have very few white people that dedicated their lives and gave their lives for equality in this country. Very few. So if you are upset about something that's dealing with religion, you still got to drag black folk into it. You know, the whole woke thing. But you know, let's move forward. Let's go ahead. MAGA is led by Vance and Trump. And you have all these tweets. I don't even know how to work Twitter or X, but I don't even know how to work. But I'm seeing where all of these tweets are coming out by all of these super MAGA people that work for Donald Trump and JD Vance. And they're saying this guy is this using profanity to describe him and disparaging him at every turn. And the leaders, JD Vance put out a good tweet about it. He asked Trump, and Trump said, which I think Trump was being completely honest. Trump said, "Hey, he's an American, good for me. Let's keep the America First thing going." You know, it's always about me. But they're not even in unity. It seems like whatever Trump says, MAGA shoots with. But then we're seeing, no, not necessarily. And that's what happened with COVID. couple of videos back I did. Trump is prophetic until he messes with their personal reality. When he fumbled the bag on COVID, everybody went their way. So, as bad as the economy is, it hasn't gotten bad enough. But we see with this Pope thing that they're not a monolith, in that when it deals with their particular personal agendas, that they're going to sidestep Trump. They're going to sidestep Vance. Now, I believe Trump is going to alter as he needs to, but for a group that's always talking about it's not about race, they're always talking about race. When a black person is saying, oh, it's always about race with you. Okay, well, I will say race. You will say woke. I will say race. You will say DEI. I will say race. You will say history, referendum that makes whites feel bad. I'll say race. You'll say Columbus Day. Now, this conservative Christian image is what has everybody up in arms. That's what this is about. If we want to get to the core of it, the black folks being thrown into it, whatever, and these black folks talking about, oh, he's black. That really doesn't matter. What this is saying is there are some people who take Christianity seriously. And once the money is out of the way, then people can focus on principle. Well, the Vatican has plenty of money. Now, all of this is around a person who had no money, but we're not going to talk about that. I believe that this was a move on principle because this global Christian conservative movement is meant to go international. And I believe the Vatican purposely didn't pick the African guy. If they wanted to really make a stir, they would have picked Africa, but Africa has no power globally. So they picked the United States, but they picked somebody that was going to combat the Christian narrative. That's what this is keyed on. This is, you're not going to take this Christian, me first, conservative persona international. Because now they're going to put a whole lot of conservative Catholics in a funny position. Like I said, I was Catholic for 4 decades. And most Catholics I met all around the country are conservative people. So I was really shocked at the conservative response, because I know in this country, most Catholics I have met are white. Now, you will find clusters of Africans that are Catholic, but most of the time you're going to find in Catholic churches, white people. You don't find a lot of black people in Catholic churches. Being a black person that was Catholic and coming from a black Catholic family, I just didn't see it a lot. So I don't understand why this is important. I don't. If he says that he has always identified as being black, okay, what does that mean? Um, the Catholic Church does not have a great history with black people. If we're talking about the historical framework on this politics, they don't. They don't have a good history with American black people. They don't have a good history with slavery. They don't have a good history with civil rights. Um, so I don't see what the big celebration is. I'm from Chicago. So, oh, guy from Chicago. Oh, okay. I don't see how it affects me, but okay, yeah, this guy from Chicago. Yeah, that's nice. But we all know that there are some definitely black pick-me's in the conservative movement that don't care nothing about black folks. So why would we think because somebody has a relative literally in the 1800s that that's some type of friend? And just what are the optics? Like how low is the image of the white America getting because of that? And again, where are the non-racist white people? Where are the white people that believe in God and purity and that this is not godly? Where are they? Because we sure heard their voices when NFL players were kneeling. We could hear the white voices, so we know we hear the right word when CRT, when the conservatives put that in front of. Oh, we heard the white voices. Of course, they're not racist. Okay, well, here's a chance for you to stand up for Christianity or Catholicism or manners. This man has reached the highest level of something that he can do, and he's a fellow American. And the president and the vice president have endorsed him well. What are you mad at? But what what power do they think they're going to lose? What it's like if they hear anything from anybody that doesn't align 100% with what they're doing or what they believe, they just act horribly, like petulant children. And we're acting as though this is not concerning. We're acting as though, and when I'm saying we, I'm to the broader white America, because again, your silence is consent. Because this looks like that's representative of the greater white populace. That's what it looks like. Historically, if you follow legislation, if you follow events, that's what it's been. You'll have ebbs and flows, but pretty much there's been no change in the attitude of the white American. Any progress toward equality has always received a backlash and a timetable. The first 250 years of this country, we're not counting the colonial times, 250 years of this country, we had laws on state and federal levels that obviously, by letter, Naturalization Act of 1790, to be a citizen of the United States, you had to be white, one of those being it. So if you've been a citizen, you are able to gather wealth. From 1790 to 1964, you were able to develop wealth. And how many laws in between there kept wealth exclusively in the hands of whites or Europeans? And everything has been a fight. 1960, 60 years has passed. Oh, that's enough time. That's too much time. And you can't have 250 years like we had. And our 250 years has been under immense protest. You can't count in that 250, that's last 60 years that we've had it, 1980 forward, because you had mass incarceration and the war on drugs, and that was particularly poor people and black people, more disproportionately black people. So again, let's just call a spade a spade. Let's not act surprised. This is America. Let's call it what it is. This is who we are. But again, black people, the white power structure is taking America back to the days of W.E.B. Du Bois, to the days of Booker T. Washington, to the days of Garvey. We have the plan. We know the mistakes we made. We know what worked. Economic segregation worked. You can live where you want to live, but economic segregation worked. Actually, in a lot of ways, physical segregation worked. But again, we go back to Malcolm X. See, we have all of these plans in place. We don't need segregation. That's dictated by somebody that we can't trust. But we can dictate separation. And when we separate and we condense our resources, our money turns over in our business districts and in our neighborhoods more than 7 times before it goes out. And all of our educated and educators are in one particular area in close proximity. So our high tides lift all ships. And we know now that we cannot afford to do like the NAACP and offer leadership positions in our organizations to white people, because we've seen that they destabilize our organizations to keep the power limited or controlled. We know with the Nation of Islam, with the Muslim Mosque Incorporated, with the Black Panther Party, that they infiltrate when we coordinate ourselves. So we have to be regularly policing our communities and our organizations to ensure not only can we not offer leadership positions outside of our community, but we have to watch the pick-me's that because they are skin folk, we mistaken them as kinfolk. So this will be a period with a name, because that nature, that has not left this particular group of people, the American white person, the descendant of British European of Europeans, not British, of Europeans on this continent. This group developed a rationale that explains their behavior, where they're not responsible for anything. And they don't care. I don't care that Native Americans had this stuff first. I'm going to take it. I don't care if Mexicans had this stuff first. I'm going to take it. I don't care if the economic system was set up that it was to your disadvantage. That's really what they're saying. Oh, well, you're just complaining. No, 1 + 1 = 2. Well, again, my mega friends, you are more than invited onto the show. Help me with this. And black folk, anybody that is, please explain this Pope Prize we just won. I don't get it.